And hello and welcome back to the Game Huggers. Your midweek addiction is back.
Happy holidays, everyone, and welcome to Game Hump. That's right, because it's a game and it's a hump and it makes no sense. And it's Christmas time, and every one of these ho-ho-hos has something happy to talk about. First off, let's start with Owl Anonymous, a.k.a. Patrick.
Hi, how you guys doing? What are we supposed to be talking about?
Well, we've got
The
quite a
holiday
few topics
season.
here, including
Holiday shopping. I plan to do a lot of shopping early on Amazon, and I did none, and now I'm gonna have to go to the mall tomorrow like I didn't want to, like I do every year. So that's what's going on with me.
What's going on?
one time I went holiday shopping on Amazon, but my raft sank and I had to swim to shore avoiding crocodiles the entire time.
Oh, I gotta go pull up a sound
It was
effect.
not a happy Christmas at all.
Oh, I know what's going on.
Josh, are we live or no?
Yeah, we're live. We're good. Sorry.
Okay.
I was I had the stream up while I was watching it, and I'm like confused. Anyway, so thank you everyone for joining us this week. It is the Game Hump, as Dan so righteously said. We've got a couple new people with us this week. Actually, not really couple, but just one guy. One guy's new, but we may have a couple new people. Dan introduced Patrick, and I also want to introduce our newest guest, 780 Racer, or as he's known on Pornhub.com, Studman 5000.
Hey guys, it's Studman 5000 here, aka 780 Racer. You may have loved some of my comments, as in "look at the way those thighs move" and "dumps like trucks," but you also might recognize me from PC Engine FX for the lack of comments normally, but not always.
I thought it was Pigfix.
Pigfix?
That's PCFX?
Oh, is that what we're calling it now?
Pig fix or pig fix?
Pigfix.
Pigfix.
There's also a site for people who like to grow exotic fruit called Fig Picks. It's really popular.
Yes, the PCEngineFX.com forums. It's a place that I'd recommend anyone that's interested in the TurboGrafx or the PC Engine to join on up. It's a very honestly sweet community that is genuinely ready to talk to anybody new. And
Especially if they're looking for rare games, right?
Yes. Immediately
totally.
Create a new account and ask for
First
rare
post.
Especially if your first post is a link to your eBay auction.
Once
Yes.
for buy.
If you're from France, even better. Hello there. I am looking for the magical chase. It is rare game I've been looking for nearly all of my life, or at least last 24 hours.
Totally. Anyway, so we're here to celebrate the holiday season. This year, this week, so close to Christmas, so close to, well, today's the winter solstice. There's Hanukkah. There's Boxing Day. There's all sorts of different holidays and fun things that are coming up. So I thought it'd be fun this week to gather around and share some holiday stories and talk about some of our favorite Christmas morning memories. So, is anybody interested in starting off with anything they want to talk about?
I have one of my favorite Christmas morning gifts from 1990 just a few feet away from me. Would you like to see it?
I would love to see it, Dan. That sounds amazing.
Now, I don't have the original box to it. I've got some extra stuff added onto it. But if I unplug this mother, you can see what I got for Christmas. What I got for Christmas in 1990. 26 years ago and a few days off. Oh my God. Okay, here it is. This was what I got for Christmas on December 25th, 1990. This is my original unit.
Wow.
What is that thing?
How would you like to see my original units?
Oh, stop
hey.
it. Thoroughmore would love to see it.
I got it for my birthday in 1974.
Hey, Zach. So glad
Hey,
you
what's
could
up?
join us this week on our special holiday special. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm just doing swimmingly.
I love the swimming weather. It's totally that time of year.
I just got back from Walmart and I feel like hanging myself.
Walmart.
Walmart's
What
a great
happened at
place because it's like going to a freak show or a circus. The one-armed greeter waves their stump at you as you come in the door. The disabled, wheelchaired customer service representative asks if they can help you, and you're like, no, I need something on a high shelf. Sorry.
Is there
Walmart
anybody
is-
else that you want to piss off today, Dan? You've gone
Yeah,
for the
Dan.
French, you've gone for the disabled, you've gone for the corporate America. Who else can we go?
I saw a girl that looked just like Thora Birch at Walmart, and that kind of made it all right. So
I saw a girl who looked just like Thor at Walmart.
Wait, he's kind of good.
Thor is actually a woman in the Marvel comics now. So
Oh, yeah, that's true.
There's a She-Thor, yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? That's a rule something, rule 86, rule 63,
I
rule
have no
41,
clue.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Rule 34.
34. There we go.
One
So
time,
I-
Sarumaro was talking about Thor, but as it turns out, he was actually just experiencing some muscle discomfort.
You son of a bitch. God damn it, Dan. Okay, so a Christmas story that I'd like to share is all about my very first video game system or video game present that I ever got. Christmas morning of 1984. I got a Tandy Color Computer 2 and Downland, a game for it, and one controller. And I remember that was pretty much the coolest thing ever. I guess I don't really remember it so much. I remember I can see the pictures, and it kind of like brings back memories and stuff like that, but I don't really remember it super well. But I remember like playing it a lot, and I loved it, and I thought it was awesome. And that was kind of like what kicked off my entire interesting video game, like unhealthy addiction. That was pretty cool. That and the last Christmas that I had as a child, which was like in 1997, which would have been right before I turned 18. My parents pretty much said like, well, when you're an adult, you know, it's going to be like a pair of socks or a $20 check, or, you know, or something like that for Christmas. This is going to be your last Christmas. So what do you want? And at that point in time, I had interest in getting an N64, had not gotten one yet. And I asked, well, what are your thoughts on how much you're going to spend on me this Christmas? And my mom pretty much said like, yeah, probably like, you know, one or two, you know, $100 or $200 or something. And so I, instead of getting an N64, which I could have gotten, I went and picked out a whole bunch of games off of tzd.com. And one of those, two of them, one of them was Fatal Fury Special, the arcade card game, and one of them was East 4. And I cannot remember what a few of the other ones are, but I wound up getting a whole shitload of PC Engine and TurboGrafx games instead of getting an N64. It was like the best decision ever. It was awesome. I loved it.
For it to qualify as a shitload, did it include energy?
No. Oh, I get it. But no, it didn't, because I didn't even know what energy was at the time. Let's say have lover?
I think it says N64 lover.
Oh, does it really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Perfect. I like it. By the way, we're learning how to draw on each other's faces, which is just
Expect something.
expect that if you bear with us.
I actually don't have any really good Christmas gaming stories. I have an Easter story, but I think I've already told it on here before, where I got a Mike Tyson's Punch Out in an Easter basket, and I locked myself in my bedroom and played that until they made me come out and eat.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I have a Christmas story.
Oh, I want to hear it, Zach. Let's hear your Christmas story.
Does it have to be a happy one?
No, sad ones are even more cool.
Was this the one where somebody stole your webcam?
No. Anyways, I don't like to show off my wealth, so I don't use a webcam. I don't like to show off my mansion that I live in with all my richness and stuff. But anyways, when I was about, I don't know, whenever the Nintendo came out, I didn't get a Nintendo. I got a Commodore 64, but all the cool kids got Nintendos, right? Which Commodore 64 was cool. I mean, looking back, I'm really grateful that I got that and stuff, but
It's awesome.
I couldn't play Castlevania, and I couldn't play, other games that my friends were bragging about and stuff. So my dad, he had a tendency to leave his wallet laying around. And so I took money out of my dad's wallet, and I went and bought a Nintendo. and
Damn.
Holy shit! So it must have been like a lot.
Yeah, well, it was like, I don't know, it was couple $100, and trust me, I paid the price for it. I still have a scar. Anyways, I bought Spy Hunter and The Legend of Zelda, and but anyways, fast forward to Christmas that year. This is how much of a spoiled rich kid I was. Okay, like my dad told me, like, he on Christmas morning, like when we got up and opened our presents and stuff, he was like, "All right, since you stole a bunch of money and stuff, and you know, which I didn't have the Nintendo anymore. Of course, he made me take that back and stuff because I got caught. And I was such a spoiled rich kid that he was like, since you stole that and you pretty much spent your Christmas money, you're only getting $200 for Christmas." So I was like, okay, is that a punishment? So I went and bought another Nintendo with it. But yeah,
Wow.
that's my Christmas story. I mean, it's not like it's not a good one, and don't steal it from your parents, kids, because it makes them really mad, and sometimes they hit you with things. But yeah, that's my Christmas story.
Damn, man.
Yeah,
And then you had two Nintendos.
I'm not proud. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying it happened.
But you still got the Nintendo, so.
Oh yeah, I
steal
ended
from
up
your parents, John.
I ended up with the Nintendo anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah. But everybody's all quiet now, like Zach's a fucking thief.
Exactly. Oh no! I mean, when I found cash laying around or something sitting out, I did the exact same thing.
Well, I mean,
remember.
here was the thing: was my dad was like, we weren't rich, we were kind of wealthy, you know. My dad had a good job, and he was
You've
really
mentioned that a few times.
he was really like frugal with his money, you know what I mean? Like he would buy, like, he bought us a computer and stuff, but it was like the family's computer, and like,
Sure.
you know, there was no like alone game time for me on there. It was like, you know what I mean?
Frugality.
Yeah, but
Well, I have a Christmas story.
Oh, I love it. Awesome.
Yes.
No, go for it.
So my Christmas story was 1999, and we were all opening up gifts and everything, and I remember having asked for a few more games for our NES because we still had an NES at my house. I was only 9 years old at the time, so I'm the younger generation here. But I remember asking for a few games, and lo and behold, all of a sudden my aunt hands me a gift, and I open it up, and it's the Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero N64 game. I'm like, you guys bought like you bought a game I can't play, and like my mom and my dad both kind of like looked at each other like, oh, well, we thought that that would work, and I'm like, nope, no, that's not gonna work. I mean, I was young, but I still could put all that together. And then they like played it off. They're like, oh, well, sorry, So there was just this one present under the tree that stayed there all Christmas, and then the last present I got to open was the N64 that they bought with it. But
That's awesome.
Awesome, but the Sub-Zero game is not.
No, that's true.
Highlight of the N64 library. We quickly got F-Zero X and Mario Kart, and all was right.
The Sub-Zero one was the one where it had like a whole storyline, right? And you would like,
that
go
was
fight.
the 2D platformer bullshit one.
It was really weird.
I have kind of a similar story to that. When I was much, much younger, I guess it would be a great aunt, my grandmother's sister, knew I liked video games, and she bought everything at Sam's Club because she wanted to utilize her discount membership as much as possible. So one day for Christmas, I get a present from my great aunt, and I open it up, and at that time, you have to realize nobody owned a Sega Master System, let alone me, and that was all Sam's Club carried. So I got Enduro Racer, which I'm sure was the cheapest game Sam's Club possibly had for a system I didn't have.
That's awesome. Somebody went really loud for a second there, like there was some massive feedback. Sorry about that. Don't know who that was, but That's awesome. You know, I have a similar sort of story that's not really similar, but like about being like a Jesus, what's going on now? About like what are you laughing at? Oh, okay. I thought there was something written on me again. About being like a spoiled little kid, and I remember I can't remember what year it was. It was probably like 1990 or 89 or 91, and we finally got an NES in our house, and it was like the first Christmas that I ever got with having an NES in the house, and I had rented a ton of games. You know, like every weekend, whenever I got my allowance, it was like rent this game, find out which games are awesome, and then made a list of games that I wanted. And oh no, okay, so this was 1991, right? And I remember that fall or earlier that year, Batman Return of the Joker had come out. And a lot of kids were getting Super Nintendos, but I remember Batman Return of the Joker in magazines getting reviews saying it's like a 16-bit game. Its graphics were amazing and all this stuff. So I was really stoked, and I was really excited to get that game. And Christmas morning came along, and my mom and dad bought me one Nintendo game. And my sister, who had actually turned 18 and had her first like big job after high school or whatever, bought me a Nintendo game too. And so I had two Nintendo games. I knew for sure because I could feel like under the Christmas tree, I knew what they were. And I was like, oh, I bet you one of them is Batman Return of the Joker. And so I got to that Christmas morning, woke up, went downstairs and waited for other people to let me have permission to open whatever presents I got. And so I started opening one of them. The first one I opened was for my parents, and my mom and dad, they knew what I was interested in because I would ask about it and I'd constantly bug them about it. But they didn't really, like when they got to the store, my mom was probably like, this one's in the clearance bin, or whatever. And so she bought me Dick Tracy by Bandai, I think it was, which isn't okay. So like when I first got it, it was like the excitement of getting a new game and playing it on Christmas morning was fun, and the memories are fun, but really that game is pretty terrible. Like
it was horrible. I got it as well.
It's not the best game in the world. But I don't know. That memory that I have of it makes me kind of go like, it's not horrible, but it's pretty bad. So I opened that and I'm like, whoa, this Dick Tracy, fucking left field, mom. But hell, I love it, So I threw that one down and I'm like, oh my God, I went to the other one. I started wrapping it open, and it was the original Batman, which is an amazing game. It was so great, but it had been out for like 2 years at that point already. And I was like, oh yeah, and my sister was like, that's the one you've been asking about, right? And I didn't want to say anything to be a jerk or anything. So I'm just like, this is awesome. Thank you. And it's fun too, because like I remember I had played Batman a whole bunch of times before. I think I had a neighbor friend that had it, and I love it. I still love it. It's one of my favorite NES games of all time. It's like it's a fantastic game. But I was like really excited for the new one. But when I actually got up to my room and spent the rest of Christmas Day playing fucking Dick Tracy and Batman, but like playing through it and like really, really playing through it, I think it was like the first time that I had realized that I really enjoy going back and playing games that I'm familiar with instead of just, holy shit, I just looked at myself. What's going on here? Whoa, where'd you get these things?
Well, you get a jetpack head.
Did you just draw that on me? What's going on? Anyway, so I thought that was a pretty funny story. I don't know, an interesting story. How do I get this shit off me? Okay.
Sorry. Somebody else is doing it too. I'm deleting whoever's drawing on your face.
Cool. All right, Zach, I muted you a little bit ago when I heard that feedback, so if you need to unmute yourself, please do. I can't. Okay, there you go.
I think it was my thermometer. I was taking my temperature, and it was probably like it's really loud. Was it
the
beeping?
Thermometer? Yeah, that was what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was. I'm
so
sick right now.
A bit of a derailment here with all the Christmas cheer, but last week there was a new Star Wars movie that came out. Any of you guys go out and see it?
I just saw it last night or 2 days ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. What did you think, Dan? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on it.
I think that
without spoilers, before we get any further, no spoilers. Just
how can we talk about it without spoilers, though?
You could talk about what you thought about it. What as far as presentation and things. I mean.
So here's the positives of this movie. Unlike The Force Awakens last year, I didn't feel like I came out of the movie having seen a movie I've seen before. It felt like an original movie. The downside was this. There's some sloppy special effects. The plot, if you've seen the other Star Wars movies, you know what's going to happen. It's not just like it's a prequel where there might be some interesting parts of stories. It's a fairly straightforward direct tie-in to one of the other Star Wars movies. The next problem with the movie is there's nothing really memorable about the movie in and of itself. The characters that are in there are kind of bland and boring, except for the ones that come from other movies. So it's like Darth Vader's cool, C-3PO and R2-D2 are in it, Leia's in it, and there's a giant spider.
That was actually a really good description without spoilers. I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I agree with you too. But I mean, in all seriousness, a Star Wars movie, all it has to do is be like, halfway decent for me to enjoy it. So I'm kind of, my view is skewed. But like, I enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome. There was a lot of really great parts to it. And if you were looking for a few more explanations as to some potential plot holes in the original A New Hope Star Wars, this is the movie for you, because it's a great tie-in. What is it doing? Bleeding now? Get out of here!
Just show my hands are not drawing. Oh, of course it goes away.
One of the things that's very important to know about this movie is that this movie exists almost solely to correct the plot hole with the original Star Wars. So it's the kind of thing that doesn't necessarily need to exist. It doesn't make you feel like, oh wow, this adds so much to the atmosphere and adventure of the Star Wars universe, but it's a fairly entertaining movie to waste 2 hours watching.
No, Dan, the last theatrical appearance by Darth Vader was no. So yes, this movie had to happen. This movie absolutely had to happen. You have to be living under a rock if you didn't know that Darth Vader was going to be in it.
I forgot about the no.
Under Iraq, as in Kuwait or one of the other countries in that general area?
Yeah, Iraq. Trekkie?
I can't imagine why someone would reference Star Trek. It's an absolutely unusual show. It had all kinds of fantastic plot elements.
Are you having a stroke?
Actually, I think I am. Let's ask Adam West.
I enjoyed that it wasn't a J.J. Abrams explosion like all the other Star Trek and Star Wars movies have been lately. It's just like boom, boom, boom. Things are happening. Like the opening trailer for Star Wars was 3 of the most ridiculous action-packed movies I've ever seen. It was for one of them was for some new Fast and Furious, which was ridiculous. And then the other 2, I can't remember. They were just I was literally laughing.
Wasn't it called like Fate of the
Guardians of the Galaxy,
something like that?
Which one?
Fate of the Furious or something?
Oh yeah, it was just over the top times 10.
Yeah.
You know that there
looks amazing.
Who, by the way, I may have brought this up on the podcast before, but since we're talking about the Fast and the Furious, who here has seen the movie Torque?
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, you told us. You talked about this before. It's awesome.
It's awesome for all the wrong reasons. It's one of the worst movies ever made, which makes it entertaining in and of itself.
It's not The Cobbler, so it's not the worst movie ever made. Have you guys seen The Cobbler? Adam Sandler?
My kids have.
And Adam, oh my god, I forgot that he's alive.
Yeah.
The Ridiculous Six was kind of funny on Netflix.
No, it wasn't.
Sure, it was. Nick Nolte was funny. Nick Nolte was funny in it. I like Nick Nolte.
I'd like to give my opinion on Star Wars since
it was spoiler free.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that I didn't have really high expectations going into it. I've been a Star Wars fan my whole life, and I when I heard that they were doing these movies, these Star Wars story movies, which the title in and of itself goes way back to, I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember this, but excuse me, back in the day, they had these little records that you would buy, and they had the books with them, and they would say, turn the page when you hear R2-D2 beep, and you would, it would tell you a story on the record, and you would turn the page. They did them with cassettes too. Anyways, a lot of those were called Planet of the Hoojibs, a Star Wars story, or Droid World, a Star Wars story. So that's a trademark that's been around for a really long time. And I thought that was kind of cool. And I thought it was cool that they mentioned a few things that, and explained a few things that people had questions about, which I'm not going to go into. But overall, it was an enjoyable movie, but it didn't it didn't have quite the bang or the epicness of the saga movies. But it was better than I expected. There was some of the parts were a little cheesy, but I enjoyed it a whole lot. Like I thought, like there was a lot of good things in it, and I didn't think that it was necessary, but it was cool. It was absolutely cool, but it was not necessary. You know what I mean? It's not like one of those things that you have to have, that you have to see, but if you feel like watching Star Wars, which I always do, it was awesome to go see. So that's my opinion.
It was original, and that was the big thing that I really liked about it. Where last year's movie, I felt like I'd seen it before. This movie, at least, it was a new experience. It was something different, and it was well produced. There were some problems with it, but all in all, I thought it was pretty entertaining.
The pun, the one pun that I can't mention was. So
oh yeah, I agree.
I said
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, the one-liner. It was just I grit my teeth when I heard that. I was like, no, they did not. Just oh my god.
So I have a bit of a confession about the Star Wars movie.
You haven't seen it?
No, I've seen it. Well, I've seen most of it. I went with my kids last Friday night, so 5 nights ago, and we got there for the 7 o'clock showing. And I had my 4-year-old with and my 9-year-old with, and my 4-year-old, about 35 minutes into it, fell asleep on my lap. And then my 9-year-old, right around when they basically got the gang together, kind of like the when they finally piece all the pieces together for the big heist movie, when they got the I'm sorry, I'm a little bit of spoiler, but they got the gang together, and I fell asleep, and so did my 9-year-old. And what woke me up then? What woke me up was James Earl Jones' voice, and I was like, I heard it, and then I like opened my eyes and I looked around and I'm like, oh, what? And both my kids were asleep, and I looked up and there's frickin' the movie and Darth Vader, and I was like, oh, we gotta wake up! Oh my god! I think I missed about 15 or 20 minutes of it. So
all 3 of you fell asleep. That's not a good sign.
I was so tired. That was just
sounds like a great movie.
You
I don't remember the last time I fell asleep in the theaters. I think it was Spirit.
You know what? There's one thing I'd like to mention, and it's not really a spoiler, but I thought it was kind of cool and different to the Star Wars series that they showed the names of the planets. Like it felt very Star Trek-y, you know what I mean? Like that part of it did. And,
sure, yeah.
I mean, it was cool. I liked it because there's like what 5 new planets or 4 new planets on it that we've never seen before, 4 or something.
Ooh.
And I thought that was cool, but it was weird. It didn't feel. It felt out of place, but it was still kind of cool.
Well, I mean, it felt very fan servicey in spots. I didn't hear anyone cheer or clap at anything any of the characters did, short of the aforementioned pun. But when people would see, say, for example, Darth Vader, would be like, "Oh, I remember him. I know what you are," or C-3PO, or possibly other characters that might have appeared in previous Star Wars movies that we don't want to spoil.
Well, okay. Well,
Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck.
Okay, there you go. Sorry, buddy.
Now we
so
know.
you want more of the familiar characters from other Star Wars movies, Dan? Is that what you're saying?
No. What I'm saying is there weren't a whole lot of things about this particular movie that stand out in your mind. When I think of the original Star Wars, I think of the cantina scene. I think of the duel between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Man, spoilers to the old movies. Come on now. Spoilers to the old movies.
What's up?
But you don't want to see more of the old movies. Remember, that's why That's why you hated Episode 7.
It's not that I hated Episode 7. It's that I felt it was unoriginal and
Right,
It
but
was just
but
rehash.
you
But
don't.
what I'm getting at really quick is that there were memorable moments in each of the original Star Wars movies. There, even in the prequels, I can go back and say like, oh, the pod race sticks out in my mind as being a cool scene from Episode 1. In Episode 2, I remember when he jumps out the window and goes on the droid and follows it along to find out who was trying to assassinate Padme. And
That was a
there's
good
memorable scenes.
Dan just said it's a memorable scene. I didn't even remember it until you just mentioned it.
To me, these are scenes that I remember. I remember, not Boba Fett, Jango Fett being decapitated by Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, there's things in those movies I remember.
Yeah.
If you're asking me what scene in this movie stands out and in Rogue One stands out, they're all scenes that call back to the original movie. And that's my only real complaint, is that there wasn't anything
I
that
don't
to
know about
me
that.
was super memorable.
The last scene of Darth Vader is nothing that calls back to the original movies at all. Like, I mean, you never see him like that ever in any of the movies.
I think that there's a few scenes, and I don't want to super spoil, but there's like the total how do I say this? Like everything going wrong, that's pretty memorable. I know that Empire had moments like that, but nothing this tragic, this terrible. And it's like, and we all know it's set up to be a certain thing, and we all know it's, I don't know.
Here's a question: did you care about the characters? And I'm not talking about the characters from previous Star Wars movies. I'm talking about whatever her name is, Accenty McSomething, and yeah, I mean, these characters did not have enough character development for me to be as invested in them as I was even in some of the prequel characters. That is not to say that they weren't. This isn't a better produced movie. That's to say that the fleshing out of the character development and their trials and tribulations was not as built. It seemed to be just kind of an ancillary thing to move the plot along.
I believe that the character that Alan Tudyk did the voice for was the best character in all of the prequels, which you can call this movie a prequel now, kind of.
Was that the robot?
Yeah, I didn't want to say. Yeah, oh my god, another spider. Oh my god, what the hell?
So,
by the way, what did everybody think of CGI Peter Cushing?
Creepy.
I thought he was scarier than Peter Cushing was as Dracula.
So the one thing that I kind of wanted to bring up here was I haven't been able to see the movie yet, but obviously everybody and their brother's been talking about it since it came out. And one thing that was brought up in two different reviews that I watched about the movie, but without them talking about the spoilers, obviously, was the old Star Wars, the trilogy. The most non-memorable moments of those movies, so the parts that nobody really remembers, like the most lackluster moments, are the actual like action fighting sequences. Whereas in the new Star Wars that just came out, that's supposedly like some of the memorable moments is like during some of those battle scenes, which is, I guess, it would be really cool if they could come up with something new and not have to borrow characters from any other part of like the specific universe. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just expecting too much, but I
will say this. I don't necessarily agree with the assessment that the most memorable parts of Star Wars are non-battle sequences. I think, look at the original movie, for example. I think of the run on the Death Star, where it's a big dogfight, and they're trying to go down to the trench to blow up the Death Star. If I think of Return of the Jedi, one of the most memorable sequences is right at the beginning of the movie when Luke is dropped into a pit, has to fight a monster, gets captured, offers Jabba one last chance at redemption, then has R2-D2 slingshot on the lightsaber, cuts everybody else free, and dumps the rest of Jabba's people into the Sarlacc pit. Those are extremely memorable scenes in my mind that are action sequences. Now, are they action sequences in the sense of today's modern explosion and CG? No, but there's scenes that I very vividly remember and stick out in my mind as part of those movies. Empire didn't really have that, and that is the best movie of the original trilogy, but I don't necessarily agree that the action sequences in the original movies weren't memorable.
I agree with you, Dan. I think you pretty much. it didn't have any super memorable moments. It was kind of just a story that you digested and didn't really feel that much. I mean, I cried like 3 times during the movie, but that's just because I was sad that day.
Someone had insulted Sunsoft.
What about Sunsoft?
Someone had insulted Sunsoft.
Oh yeah.
Because you love that Sunsoft. All right, so someone's deleting my stuff. Okay, fine.
All right. Any other thoughts here on Rogue One? Is anybody excited for Rogue 2? I'm kidding.
There was one cool scene, but I can't talk about it. Dang it.
I thought it was a good movie. I liked it.
You fell asleep.
I thought it was cool
And
to
your
see.
kids fell asleep.
Well, we fell asleep because we were exhausted.
This
It
isn't really a spoiler, but I thought it was really cool to see some of the original X-Wing pilots from A New Hope.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Like, I noticed them right off the bat, and I was like, whoa. Like, I guess that's a little spoilery, but I don't give a shit. It was awesome. Like, that was one of the things that was, like, the last 20 minutes of the movie was really the best, the payoff. You know what I mean? Because I was like, holy shit, for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
All right, so anything at all that you guys are looking forward to in 2017? As far as gaming, as far as movies, as far as, I mean, obviously people have things to look forward to, but in a gaming or entertainment universe.
Dragon Quest 11.
Is that going to be a PS Vita game?
No, it is not. Why would it be a PS Vita game? Is anything going to be a PS Vita game?
Next year? Isn't East delayed until 2017? East.
Is that still planned for Vita or is that PS4?
It's Vita and PS4, I believe.
I just got a PS4. I've only had it for about a month. I'm looking forward to a lot of the titles that are coming out for that. I just got Shantae Half Genie in the mail today.
Nice.
And then I got Battle Garega last week, which I'm really excited about.
Do you have the other Shantae games for PS4?
Excuse me?
Do you have the other Shantae games for PS4?
I don't. No, I just got my PS4. And then Dagon Feveron is going to be remastered. Another cave shmup is going to be ported to the PS4 as well, which I'm really excited about. Is that still in plastic?
Yeah, it's still. I don't have a PS4.
I can get a PS4. I bought mine for like $100.
How did you get one for $100?
They're going pretty cheap around me. I got that in the term of the fight stick for $200 total.
Dang, man.
Yeah. I got an Xbox One for $100 too, and I can't sell it for that.
Yeah, the Xbox One's in an interesting position right now. It's kind of, I don't know. I mean,
it's a good media device.
Yeah, I think it's got its uses for sure.
Yeah. It's definitely worth $100, but
oh yeah, totally.
I'm tying myself into the PS4.
I am excited. Andromeda.
What's Andromeda?
The new Mass Effect game.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Andromeda is also one of the best pinball games ever invented. I don't know if you guys know that.
Andromeda.
I see a very sexy Saru Maru.
Saru Maru has joined the conversation.
Everyone.
Hello.
I promise you, we've made no comments about you while you weren't here.
I don't believe you, Dan. You're the.
Wait till
you're
he
the
sees
first
what we can
one.
do to him.
Oh God.
What?
He needs to install.
man.
Oh no! I'm not installing whatever it is. It gives you the googly eyes.
Oh, he doesn't. He has to install it. I'm gonna invite you to install
I
it.
am immune. I
Dang
had
it.
immunity to the
You
googly eyes.
Get away! It's like they look like the eyes from Roger Rabbit.
The benefits of being late.
I guess.
Sorry, we were just having our pickups.
Just on a side note, anytime. So, sorry, Mauro, if Josh ever hears the word being late, he's immediately like, "Uh-oh, how many more bedrooms do we need in this house?"
What are you up to now, Josh? 7? 7, right? Or 6?
6.
12?
6. It's not up to anything new. It's the same, and that's as far as it's ever going to get.
Did they multiply? You have 6 kids?
I've always had 6 kids since
fed
How
them
much
March.
does it cost to go to a movie?
A lot of money.
That's why he falls asleep on them.
That's why I fall asleep.
Or he stacks them all up together and puts them in a trench coat, and they all walk in together.
like the
my name
Muppet.
is Vincent Adult Man.
You Muppet Man. Hello, I'd like to buy one adult.
Well, you're almost trying to sound like a Muppet, but not quite. Yay!
Hey, we're That's what it is.
I would like to buy one pass, please, to the movie.
That's pretty good. I do no impressions. My voice is completely monotone all the time.
Oh, another game you said that we might be excited for 2017. I'm pretty excited for Henshin Engine.
That game sucks.
Do you think
Well,
it's actually
it
going to
sucks.
come out?
Also,
I do.
Say 2019.
Oh,
Vaporware.
Nobody cares
According
about
to that Dreamcast website, it's never coming out. So I didn't.
Yep. That's true.
I backed it though. I felt like
Oh,
throwing money in the
damn.
fan. So, yeah.
So there's that one, and then there's also
What's Arkham's project?
That's not on
I don't
PC
think-
Engine. Nobody cares.
No,
I don't
but
think-
it's even better. It's even better. It's MSX.
yeah.
Ooh.
I wish I had an MSX. I guess I don't know.
Ditto.
Did you hear?
There's-
There's MSX games that are being ported to the Sega Master System.
Really?
You guys hear about that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, there's already been a couple done, and it looks like you can inspect the file and change out the ROM, and it works.
Wow.
Somebody
I'll
better
give you
let
guys some
Arkham
links.
know. It's another untapped market.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't that be a downgrade?
Well,
As far
some
as
of the,
master-
I'm not a Master System.
the original
fan, so-
MSX is not such good hardware. It doesn't scroll.
Yeah.
It doesn't do a lot of things. Most MSX games, when we think of it, are 2 or 2+, and abide to a different standard.
Yeah, you at least need a 2, MSX2 or 2+, for it to be sexy. For it to get the Space Manbo levels or Snatcher levels.
Snatcher. Yeah.
So you can get all 8 colors.
Yeah. No. I'm very curious to hear more about the MSX to Sega Master System. That'd be pretty groovy.
Oh yeah, there's also somebody that is dumping MVS games to the Neo Geo CD format
Oh, cool.
for people that like loading times.
Yeah.
Loading times. I love the Neo Geo CD.
You like
I
waiting for
actually-
things to load and juggling monkeys?
Have you seen the most popular Neo Geo loading CD video on YouTube? Because I have
No.
The coolest one.
the coolest one.
What is the coolest one?
It's
The only
Josh sitting and waiting for King of Fighters to load.
Well, you don't play
For
games
5 minutes.
on it.
Oh my
You
god!
play everything
I made an actual real-time video of how long it takes Last Blade to load, and I think it's like 6 minutes.
Get out of
Yeah.
here! Is it Metal
Last
Slug
Blade is
huge?
bad.
Is there a Metal Slug CD, Neo Geo CD?
Yeah,
think
there's
there is.
3 of them.
3 of
Metal
them.
Slug
really?
1, 2, and
Take the load.
pretty long, but the stages are so long that you can kind of wait for that loading time to happen. Because then you're in the gameplay for a good minute before you have
Yeah,
to wait
that's a
for
long-
loading times.
Yeah.
As
Pretty
opposed to
long
like
stage.
fighting games where you have to wait for loading times, like right off the bat, or when somebody dies. The worst is King of Fighters. You're playing King of Fighters and like you're just whipping this character's ass, right? And then this character like comes back, but they've only got like a tiny little bit of life to where you can just fart and kill them. But then they end up killing you. You kill them the next round, and then have to wait a whole other load cycle for it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Is that mistletoe?
I think that's
Is
mistletoe.
that when you're waiting for things to finish loading, the monkey never drops the ball when juggling. I mean,
That is
that would
kinda
make it way more interesting. I'm sitting around watching this monkey thinking, okay, he's doing good so far. I can't wait till it falls on his monkey fucking head. But it never happens.
Maybe he's just got away with balls.
You would know.
I hear monkeys have a way with balls.
They got away with balls.
Balls.
So, balls. Saru, I was curious. We're all kind of curious. Do you have an interesting game-related Christmas morning memory?
Ooh. No. As a kid, I was always pretty poor. I didn't really get like video games for Christmas. Actually, no, that's not true. That's not true. I did get Mega Man 3 one Christmas, and I shit my pants, like quite literally.
Yeah.
Was
Well,
there
I mean-
White Castle for breakfast with it?
You're not one of those people that says literally and you mean not literally, because you said quite literally, which makes me think you actually shit your pants.
Most literally.
Why did you shit your pants? Because you got a Nintendo game.
I just the
It's
excitement.
Mega Man.
It's Mega Man.
Mega man.
That's pretty
what do
shitty, man. I'm sorry that happened to you.
What do you guys call a bad Mega
Literally.
Man game? Mighty
What do you
Number-
what?
Bad Mega.
Yeah. What do you call a bad Mega Man game? Mighty Number 9. Yeah.
Ooh. Nice.
It's only like $9 right now. I'll throw $9 at it.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh
Mega
man.
Man.
It's in the clearance racks at Walmart.
Final Fantasy, the
it's
new Final
crazy.
Fantasy already went to $35 everywhere.
Yeah, it's like $34.99 now. I hear.
The Husbando Simulator.
It's pretty much what it is. It's or your boy band simulator.
Yeah, I didn't play it, but I watched a lot of people stream it, and man, the people that like it will fight you and defend for it. But it's not my thing.
It's not bad. It's not
It
bad.
looks beautiful. The game is beautiful. The storyline's fun. I mean, it's all right.
It's got a good soundtrack. The gameplay and the controls actually pretty unique. I mean, you just got to think about it as like when I first played Kingdom Hearts, I was like, God, this is kind of like Secret of Mana in 3D.
Yeah.
And Final Fantasy 15 is a lot like Kingdom Hearts. So it's interesting. Like I don't know. Yeah, that battle system to me feels like somebody drawing on me. God damn it, you guys! So it feels like Kingdom Hearts. So I think it's
I was
cool.
about to say, I don't recall seeing Donald Duck or Mickey Mouse in Final Fantasy 15 anywhere.
I was just talking about the battle system.
I do recall seeing Donald Duck and Suikoden 3.
What?
No one has played that, so never mind.
Let me just throw something over my head.
Everybody stopped at 2.
Yeah, 2 was good. 3 wasn't
Okay,
bad.
I didn't even know there was
wasn't
a 3.
It was on the PS2.
Oh. Nobody cares about the PS2.
There's a 2 and 3 remaster, isn't there?
There's 1 and 2 that are on like PSN, but there's not 3 and 2.
Okay.
No. 3 is very different from 1 and 2.
Sorry.
For
do you
one thing,
have
there's a giant fucking duck.
Duck.
Sorry, do you have any pickups near you that you can grab?
Yeah,
Do I have any-
actually, my secret. I was bad and opened my Secret Santa stuff.
Oh, let's see what it is. Did you figure out who it was?
Yes,
Nick?
a certain evil robot was my Secret
Oh.
Santa.
Ah,
He
same
got-
idea.
Did he ever get his obviously he got your address, but did he have to like re-get your address from you?
Everybody
by chance?
has my address. People come and
Oh.
go all the time.
It's written on so many bathroom stalls. What do you expect?
I'm just throwing stuff out there because I know Dan's gonna bite. But yes.
All right, so what'd you
So
get?
let me show you guys. I got PC Genjin 2.
Nice.
I recognize
I
that
don't
guy.
have
Who's that
it.
guy in the front?
I believe
I think
that's
it's like
Sonic the
that
Cave
dude.
Monster.
That is
Tonk?
Is
He's
that
supposed to
Joe
be
and
blue.
Joe and Mac.
Joe
Hey, Joe Mac is pretty good.
Joe and Mac is awesome.
Joe
All
Mac
right,
for
and then the
Nintendo
second
is
game-
really, really good.
Yeah, it is. It's good.
Caveman Ninja.
Nintendo. No, it was alright. It was good on Nintendo. Alright, and the next game I got was Seiya Monogatari.
Oh, awesome.
And Earth Fantasy Stories.
Yep. Dude, this game is awesome.
Is that the one that on the demo disc has Psycho Rider?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but it doesn't have it on the full copy.
Oh, I don't know. I've only ever played the demo disc.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only on the demo disc. Yeah, the game looked really cool.
Oh, it's so good. Just from the demo. Like I beat the demo and I was sad, and I went back and replayed the demo every single time just to see the different scenarios that you get from every group. So like when you start the game, you get to pick who raises you depending on who you cry for, and it's so awesome.
I thought the sprite work is really, really good.
It is. It's really good. There's like the battle scene has like parallax scrolling and everything.
Wow, that's so cool.
He's still impressive.
I have not opened my Secret Santa yet. I want to really bad.
I can't wait. I'm impatient like that. If I know something is just sitting there, it's like I'm gonna open it eventually.
I
Josh.
haven't opened one yet.
So, Josh, so don't forget, you got a package sent to your old address. Is that correct?
Oh, what happened with that?
Oh, the one. Okay. Yeah. Well. Okay. So, long story short, Jesus, what's going on? I got a bow tie on or something. Okay. It's on my chin.
Classy.
It was a box for an order for winter boots. Was what it was just recently. Yesterday, on Tuesday. Anyway, so the story is, it's really odd. It really sucks. It's an awful story, and it's basically a way to say to you, never ever fucking order from anything that is going to be shipped to you via FedEx, because I think FedEx is a shitty, horrible, awful delivery system.
Whoa.
Service. Anyway, long story short, I bought from Beamer, Blue BMW, his Neo Geo CD, a couple games. One of them was Magician Lord Neo CD, and one PC Engine CD game called East 4. I bought that from Beamer. He shipped it to me, and he put $50 of insurance on it, which he never got still. And this was in 2012 when this happened. So it's been 4 years now. And he put an address on there and put a signature, required signature. So when it got to me, I had to sign for it and receive the package. What wound up happening was FedEx dropped the package, the box, off at the apartment complex's front door. So like not even going inside the building. He just left the box sit on the outside, and on their website for the tracking number, it just said delivered to address, put the address name, which was the apartment building number, and then the apartment number. And the apartment number was wrong that he wrote on the delivery, and also said no answer at door, so left, no signature required.
Wow.
So we checked that. I found, like, I was doing the tracking thing like every day. I'm just like wondering when it's going to get here, when's it going to get here, and then finally checked the tracking and it was delivered. I'm like, awesome. So I looking around and asked my wife, I'm like, hey, do you see any packages? Like, no. Checked online, read all that bullshit, and I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. And I looked everywhere. I went outside. I looked around everywhere I could think of. I went and knocked on every single apartment in the entire complex, and no one, quote unquote, no one saw it. So I was freaking out. Told Beamer about it. He went and put a request for his $50 insurance refund or whatever, and that never happened. And it just disappeared. There was never any. No one's ever seen it. I've never heard anything from it ever. Lost Neo Geo CD.
I've had a pretty similar type of story regarding like shipping. Non-video game related, but I shipped a supercharger kit from Minnesota, where I am now, down to Georgia, and it made its entire journey in the UPS box, and I had UPS packet because I didn't want anything happening to it. I mean, this was like a $2,000 kit. I didn't want it just like falling out of the box or anything, so I paid them to package it up and ship it off. Made its way all the way down to Georgia. And right before they were getting ready to deliver it, I mean, I had been watching the tracking updates. It said there was an issue and that I needed to contact UPS corporate. Well, I guess in Kansas, along its journey, all the contents fell out of it, but they just continued to ship it all the way down to Georgia with an empty, ripped open box.
Jeez.
Oh, man.
And it was like a huge ordeal. It took me 2 months. I never got all of my parts back, but I got most of them back and was able to recoup some of the money. But insurance was an absolute pain to deal with UPS too. So I generally just use USPS because they're the cheapest. So, I mean, if they're going to lose stuff and I have to jump through the same hoops, I might as well pay the least amount in doing it. So
I have another FedEx horror story too. Speaking of FedEx, we're going back to 2001, and I had just moved at the time, and we had signed up for DirecTV.
2000.
So what happened was I had ordered a DirecTV dish, a hub so you could send the signal to more than 2 TVs, and then 3 receivers. And we ordered this. There was an installation date set like a week from when we did the order. DirecTV mailed everything out. The dish and all the equipment was sent out the same day. We had tracking numbers for each package. Only 2 of the 5 packages ever arrived, which was the hub and one of the receivers. The dish and the other 2 receivers never came. FedEx, didn't refund it. We couldn't do the installation because, of course, there was no dish to install. And I think it took about 4 months to get refunded on everything.
Yikes. Ugh.
That sounds terrible.
As a little bit of a footnote, too, for that horrible story about the FedEx Neo Geo CD, just yesterday, my wife got a phone call from someone who used to live in our old apartment. I'm sorry, who currently lives in the apartment that we used to live in. And they called and said a package arrived, a box arrived, and it has our name on it.
Twilight Zone.
And so it was really weird because I was actually at work and I had the PC Engine Sun Teams chat up, and then the story came up, and we were talking about it. And someone was like, "Yeah, Josh, didn't you lose a Neo Geo CD from FedEx or something like that?" Because someone was talking about FedEx being really bad delivery, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, fuck FedEx, blah blah blah. Here's why." And my wife Skype messaged me, and she's like, "Hey, someone just called from our old apartment saying a box arrived for us," and I was like, what? So I left work at 4:15 and drove right to the old apartment and went up there, and it was just a shipment of winter boots for my son. So
Winter boots.
winter boots. We put an order in and accidentally left our old address. So it was nice that they called us. That was pretty
How
cool.
did that SD card work, Josh?
Wonderful. That is blow my fucking mind awesome, dude. Holy shit. It's like, why do I even have any other video game systems? The Raspberry Pi is all I'll ever need.
It's
Oh,
great.
I just
Lag,
noticed
though.
that we had who is that? Who's talking
Oh,
right
it's Zacky Poo.
now? Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Sarah.
Hi, Zach. How's it going?
I'm doing all right.
Suddenly, I heard this voice. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, we have a wide panel here this week. We got all 6 of us here. We got Ryan, Dan, Patrick, Sarumaru, and Zaki.
I just
Zaku.
noticed that the N64 teal is the same color. Oh, you guys can't see. Same color as the Super Game Boy.
Super Game Boy 2.
That's pretty crazy. It's like they use the same plastic.
It's like they use the exact same plastic.
It's almost like the same
Cray.
company made both of them.
There we go.
Sarumaru, before we end today, because we only got a few minutes left, did you want to smell some? Do you want to sniff some sponges from your Hue cards?
Do you guys see that?
Oh.
By the way,
Mine didn't come with a sponge. Did it?
Well, you got a CD game, did
There's no sponge in the CD games.
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Oh man.
Oh, but it does smell like Japan. So he must have eBayed this one for sure.
Oh yeah.
So
Smells like-
by it smells like Japan, do you mean it just smells of like stale cigarettes? Because that's like all that they do over there, isn't it?
It smells like the ocean, kind of like that weird, like mildewy, stagnant. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It smells kind of like a wash. Like you ever walk by a wash and it has like that like weird, like minerally, watery smell. Shit from Japan smells like that. It's not an unpleasant smell. It's
Like a car
well,
wash?
honestly, not. You sniff the heck out of anything that you open from Japan.
Oh yeah, if it comes from Japan and I know it's from Japan, I'm gonna sniff it.
Well, the PCE Works, the PCE Works Pantsu edition is not quite from Japan, but I'm sure you'll be
No.
sniffing that one soon.
You can't sniff those. Those come from Croatia or wherever the hell those
Okay.
panties are coming from.
Yes, just because they come from Croatia does not mean they smell bad. STD rate below 95%.
Oh wow.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for being on the podcast this week. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you for sharing some of your wonderful Christmas morning memories with us. That was a lot of fun. I thought it was awesome. In the new year, we do plan on having a few new episodes as well. In January, we're going to have our very special guest, Dark Kobold, on.
Whoa!
Oh man.
It's going to be the best. It's going to be the best. It's going to be just the best podcast. We've got the best. We've got the best podcasts. We're the
Please
best.
tell
The
me
most
that Sparky's
bestest.
going to be on that same episode as well.
Most bestest.
I'm working on it. I'm
Yeah,
working.
if you can get Sparky and
Get me
Dark
on there too.
Kobold the
I'd like to
same
be on with
one, I'd
Sparky.
love that.
Get Nightwolf on.
You know what? He'll do it eventually. He will. We're just
Come
trying
on,
to
Nightwolf.
You think
get
so?
our schedules all cleaned up. And then we'll get everybody on. We'll get everybody on. You know, the one that would be the almost absolute impossible to get on is Necromancer, and I'd love to have him on. That'd be fun.
I'll
He
harass
doesn't-
him. I'll start doing it.
I don't think he does
I'm on
anything that is.
He doesn't do stuff like
He
that.
doesn't have home internet.
He doesn't reveal his own identity. He's like, maybe it's Aaron Nanto.
Well, he's dead. I mean,
He
so-
is in Robot Hell. That's true. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being a part of the podcast. Thank you all you out there for listening. You can always follow me on the Twitterverse at _Joshua Turbo. Don't forget the underscore, as it is the most important underscore in all of Sarumaro's underwear drawer. So thank you guys so much for being on the show.
The big drawer.
Thank you, everybody. Take it easy. Enjoy your happy holidays, and see you after the new year.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, la, 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 la.